Hello, and welcome to One in Conversation. My name is Laura Ieraci, editor of One. Today it is my pleasure to be in conversation with Konstantin Chernichkin, our photojournalist in Ukraine. When Konstantin and I first made contact for a story One was covering in Ukraine, it was December 2021. There was talk of a possible invasion from Russia, but there was still peace. By the time Konstantin completed his assignment and submitted his photos, it was February 2022. Russia had invaded and everything changed. Konstantin was not just a photojournalist in Ukraine anymore, he became a war photographer. Konstantin wrote a riveting article for us about his experience as a war photographer, and we are grateful that he joins us today to share more about his experience and insights. Welcome, Konstantin.
Hello.
You're joining us today from Kyiv, if I understood correctly.
Yes, I'm now in my apartment, where I'm staying since actually this full invasion started. Yeah, and the apartment where we used to live with my family now empty. So my family in Poland now, like in evacuation. So I'm here alone. Now in Kyiv, it's how to explain it in one sentence, because it's uncomparable with peaceful Kyiv for sure. And for many things we are as a citizens of Kyiv already used to, which are normal for sure for like people who live in a peaceful city. All the time some air alarms, and you need to go to the shelter, or someone just go to the corridor, just avoid the windows and glasses. But when you start speaking with anybody here, you feel war and trauma, just just everywhere, just with everyone. Yeah.
Before we start talking about the war and your work as a photojournalist in this context, I was hoping you could share with our audience a little bit more about yourself. You know, how did you start working as a photojournalist? Where did you grow up? What was life in Ukraine like before all this war broke?
My father quite famous and professional photojournalist in Ukraine. He started actually from his childhood photography, like because his parents as well influencing him, and it's like some family tradition. So yes, my brother, smallest, 1 year younger, photographer too. So I would say we are photography family. And just I use camera which my father gave me, and started do photography. Yeah, and of course I'm covering a lot in journalism, as a photographer of magazines and newspapers in Ukraine, and for Reuters agency here in Kyiv. So a lot of just historical moments of our country pass through my eyes.
What's it been like for you, Konstantin, photographing your own country at war? You had mentioned in your article, you know, that it's one thing to photograph conflict situations and difficult situations, but when you see your own country and your own people and your own institutions being attacked and destroyed, what's that like for you?
Oh, very, very tough. If we back to for 2 years, when it's this full invasion started, I, I was in such a moment of my life when I'm already was burned out as a professional, and thinking to finish my work as a photojournalist for sure. But and after evacuation of my family to Warsaw, I stayed here alone, and it was so depressive and terrible moment. I remember I don't know what to do, and I don't know how can I help in this situation. What my role in all this um, like mess of and photography and like journalism helped me to find the reason to like continuous like even being like I absolutely was lost and don't have any sense what a small human can do in this crazy war. So and but of course it was difficult because photographer need to be keep distance and trying to be um, to have like I don't know, cold mind. I don't know, can I say it like this? But still to observe it, And for me, in the first months of this war, was very difficult just to uh, keep camera in my hands because emotionally I was totally with all people who I met, and all this painful situation, all these emotions around me, I feel inside, and it was just difficult to be no, to keep distance, from it. For me, it was my country, my people, my war, and it's very difficult to do my job. And I met crying children on a railway station of Lviv, western city in Ukraine, where like uh, like crowds of people trying to get in a train, and it was a mass of people. It was mm, loud and screaming, and children staying alone without parents, lost in this uh, crying, and I can't just take picture of it. I feel that I need to just standing with them and trying to calm them down and trying to just make them feel better. And other photographers, like foreigners who maybe don't feel because they don't know language or don't know the situations, they just documenting. And I understand them. I understand that it's important. It's a role of photographer. But at that moment, for me, it was really difficult just to be in this role.
This humanity that you describe really comes through in your photos. I'm a big fan of your work, I'll admit, And a lot is not only because they're technically beautiful photos, but your photos communicate a deep humanity. The way you see the world, the way that you see people. So often, what I find in your photos is that you manage to capture the hope in the destruction, the strength in the weakness, the resilience in the discouragement. I'm thinking about the photo of the medical worker that you took from Cheptitsky Hospital in Lviv, who, with great compassion, is helping an elderly lady with her palliative care because she can't receive, care in the hospital because the hospital is full. Or I'm thinking about the photo of the monk, who's walking into his monastery with such confidence, with such trust. Like, you captured that moment, even though his monastery has been shelled and the front is absolutely destroyed, but you managed to capture that trust and confidence. I'm thinking about the image that you took of the museum director who is standing amid the ruins of her museum. But even you see her strength and her resilience as she stands there, with the hope that communicates. I'm thinking about the image of the fallen cross, the onion domes that had fallen, and it's all mangled metal. And they're at the Virginsky monastery, right? The Sviatohirsky in Donetsk. And so you see this Byzantine cross with the onion domes on the floor, on the ground, in the foreground, but in the background, you still see the remains of a church with onion domes that are still standing, right? And even though the gold has been ripped off those onion domes, the crosses are still there. You managed to capture in your lens, Konstantin, this juxtaposition of destruction, yes, but hope, and strength and resilience. And I'm not sure if you do that intentionally, but this comes across in your images. So I guess my question for you is, when you're on the field, for us in particular, what are you looking for when you're looking through your lens? When you're trying to compose the photo, what are you thinking about? And what is it that you want to capture when you're composing these shots for us in these conflict areas?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say that thanks for describing like pictures which I made, but it's very interesting what viewers see, and especially in different countries, in different part of the world. And it's, I think, it's actually powerful of photography in general, that it could uh, send in some emotions first of all, and send in some not only information but emotion and some these feelings, and it's not about me. I think it's more about people I met, and you describe well, very well. And I think in such difficult circumstances, in such critical moments, real human show the mm, the best sides of their humanity, and that what happens in any war and any situation, because human still how to say staying human. Someone said that for war photographer, it's most important just document evidence, yeah, of war crimes or of some unhumanity things which our enemy make here. Other could say that photography, war photography as well, need to show emotions and its influence on people in the world emotionally more than like uh, cognitive. Yeah, but I think both sides important, and I believe that, and there are so many examples when photography can influence, and on small group of people, on and on all world.
You, you said that, through your work with One Magazine, that you've had the opportunity to meet some, your words were, they bright individuals who shine like
Yeah,
beams of light in these dark times. Those were your words in your article. Can you
yeah,
tell
yeah.
a little bit about these bright lights that you have met?
Yeah. The biggest impression, and I have had, it's about Sister Lucia of the Order of Saint Basil the Great, yeah, in Zaporizhia. And I thank you for this meeting. I remember that I was tired and full of all these trips to frontline or somewhere extremely things with journalists. And when you proposed me to make this story, first I was thinking, oh, it's something not interesting or something boring, or I don't know. Okay, let's go and see what's going on. And then when I met this, I don't know, so positive shining lady, which just, I don't know, always smiling, always happy, and preparing some humanitarian aids for the people. I know this place. It's really close to frontline. It's very dangerous. Not many journalists go in there. It's full of armies in the shell, and it's Rehova, it's in the south front. And she organized, some small community of volunteers, local volunteers, and they all listen to her, and looks like they love her and do everything what she proposed. And she very, how to say, her with good charisma. I don't know. So it's feelings. I'm just I for few days I spent with her. Yeah, I looks like I was recovered. I don't know, somehow in positive way. I love her just, and she drove this mini bus with all humanitarian aid to this place, and spoke with soldiers, and mm, during our trip she make just great jokes, and at the same time spray during driving, and all these landscapes around full of destroyed buildings, and it gives you some other perspective. It gives you I was some kind shocked, I would say, that it's possible to keep. And I ask you, are you don't afraid to go there? How you actually mm, deal with this? And she said, God help me. And it was so strong. It was. She said, I'm in the hands of God. It will be His decision. I need to do what I need. That's all. And I think for me, yeah, it was very strong. It was. When I'm visit Zaporizhia, I always remember her. A few times I call sister Lucy as well. She always positive and happy to hear me. So, and it's only one very good example, but there are so many people which have such power to keep shine during this darkness, to keep belief, to keep like hope, because we have big problem here now with the hope.
And I think sometimes, people who consume media, who read journalism, watch it on television, don't recognize sometimes that there are these human connections that are made, right? Because fundamentally, the work of journalism is the work of telling the human story. And we, as a journalist, we enter into that human story. And the people that we meet impact us, sometimes in positive ways and sometimes negative ways. But I would say, in my experience, and maybe you would agree, mostly in positive ways. And so, this is
That's why I'm in journalism, actually. It's one big, prerogative, I know, of our job.
I agree. I think that whole aspect is very addictive, if we could speak in those terms, right? Because it allows you to engage with people of all nations, of all ranks, of all experiences, and how much our lives are enriched by that as people who work in this field. With all of the challenges that we have to go through to get the work done, but how enriching it is. How else has this coverage of the war impacted you in your as a man, as a father, as a husband? How have you grown in this time? How have you maybe even changed?
I'm covered war since actually 2014, and I have had a very critical moment when I'm almost lose my not life but leg, and injured in a war. Yeah, covering shooting Ukrainian soldiers when Mariupol was under the first attack in 2014, and in that period of time I understand a lot what my real value, what for I'm here, and what about my people who close to me and what they mean for me actually. Yes, my wife, my family, my children, and that it changed me a lot. You start understanding that actually just simple things which you used to have like 2 years before, yeah, just walking with dog, reading books to my son, and just spending time with my son, and just have dinner with my wife. Something very simple things which I unfortunately can't have now. That it means now I would say here as a Ukrainian man, I stand in front other big question, uh, because the war continues, and many my friends already serving in the army, and they make their decision, their choice, what's important for them, and that another big philosophy question: where is your role actually? Where you need, where you where you need to be actually? What how to defend your home and your values? Yeah, of course we are professionals, and we feel our role here as a storyteller, yeah, as a documentalists, yeah, who make it for history as well. And in that case, I'm I'm inspired in some human stories, and inspired bravery of people who fighting on the front.
How do you manage your fear in these situations that most people would never want to go to be in?
I always put myself, in the role of soldiers when I met them on the front line, when I make my stories there, because when you spoke with them, it's simple people. They say with just few years ago, they've been um, around you, like on a, I don't know, car repair station, or in a shop, or in university, even, like it's the same people which citizens here, yeah, and now they met the same big questions of values of their life, and how they deal with fears, and they all have the same answer, because there are no other solution actually. They pray, they feel that their life belong to something powerful than they are, and if you trust it, if you believe in it, and then you can actually keep your brain and head cold, yeah, and make uh, some how to say, some right decisions there, because it's very important not to put yourself in some fears, and became chaotic and small and so on. You if you give your life in the head of God, or something stronger than you, then you can just do your job.
What was it like for you to photograph places of significance to Ukraine that were destroyed in the war, places of cultural heritage, of religious heritage?
Mhm.
What was it like for you to to see them so damaged and destroyed, and to have to photograph them?
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw it. It's it was so obvious that it's not. It was made for purpose, and it and how people can do it. It's it's some some places and churches and museums and some historical things which for us means a lot, not for us, even for our parents and grandparents. But for future generation, I have a hope. I have a hope that they will rebuild and renovate our country for sure after our win. And so, in that case, I'm more positive. but at the moment, and at that moment when I saw it, yeah, when I covering the story for one, I spoke with many people who, uh, spent all life in these places, and for them it was all their life, and they feel their role in the like the mission, yeah, and it was destroyed, and it's very painful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very powerful coverage you brought back for us. Thank you. Konstantin, you've been covering different aspects of the war in Ukraine for One Magazine now for 2 years, but specifically for us about the ways that the church is working to help the people who have been made vulnerable by the war, right? The refugees, the people who've been internally displaced, the children, those who are injured, the elderly, those who are sick, and also families that many now have become single parent families because of the circumstances of the war. And you've crisscrossed the country for us doing this kind of work, which I can't underline enough is so important for our readership to let us know what the church is doing and what the church can continue to do to accompany the people who are suffering in this war. So I just want to express to you my gratitude on behalf of all of our readers, all of our editorial staff at One, for the excellent work that you keep delivering for us, so that we can have insights into what is going on and really into how the body of Christ is working in Ukraine. So we appreciate everything you do for us, and we hope we can continue our collaboration. And soon, hopefully, we'll be able to cover other stories aside from the war, because the war will have ended. Let's hope and pray for that. But in the meantime, we're so grateful for all that you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Konstantin.
Yeah, thank you. And can I express my actually uh, like big respect and want to thank you and all people and organization and foreign church and volunteers and everybody who support us during these difficult times. And I'm very appreciate for all open hearts which support us even just on a distance, just feel that some supporting, yeah, some share with us their support, and it's very important for us. I'm very appreciated for everybody in the world who cares about humanity, about reason of life, and I hope peace and life will win, and we all understand why we are here, what for, and what the real values. We don't need to kill each other and fight for nothing. Just live this life in peace.
Thank you, Konstantin. God bless you.
Thank you very much.